Antichrist line, you're on the air. Hello.
Art,
Yes.
you called. You asked me to call. What do you need?
Do you claim to be the Antichrist?
Yeah.
Oh, then there's many questions that I have for you. First of all, how do you know that you are the Antichrist?
How dare you?
I
Your
dare.
preconceived notions of what the Antichrist is.
I don't dare.
Have a valuable opportunity to talk.
I don't.
I was
don't.
not even.
I don't.
was not
You
even
tell me.
planning.
You
I was
tell
not
me.
even planning on
I'm
coming out to talk to the public.
Okay.
But this is the first show ever that said, "Will the real Antichrist please stand up?"
That's correct.
I was very intrigued, and just as an aside, I must say you have an excellent show. I don't know if it was fate, but a couple of months ago, my cousin at a birthday party said she was listening to this unique man at night. And although I do work during the day, I wish I was on the beach, as the other guy said, drinking a margarita.
Well, that's what people imagine, but you know what people imagine is rarely true. And you're right. How dare I imagine to know what the Antichrist is? So you tell me.
What the Antichrist
Is what the Antichrist wants?
is a man that comes along not by his choosing, just as Jesus was not by his own choosing.
That's right.
And I guess it was about the 4th or 5th grade that I was able to project myself over and have outer-body experiences.
Yes.
When I was in junior high school, I started having global thoughts as far as getting a sense that... Now, this is really hard to explain, and I don't want to take up a lot of your time trying to explain the thought processes involved, but God speaks through one person at a time during each generation. That person may not even know it. And every 500 years or so, that person feels it really strongly. And every 2,000 years or so, that person feels it strongly enough to be imbued with the Spirit of God. Now, people have a conception of the Antichrist that he is the devil. Believe me, I am not the devil. It's just that this time, I don't care about the world. You saw what happened the last time that I manifested myself. They nailed me to a tree. It's not going to happen this time because I'm going to be incognito. I am allowed to start talking about it from the year 1998 on. That is why I permitted myself to call tonight. What is about to happen is going to happen. Even if I tell you what's going to happen, you will not be able to stop it.
That's quite all right. Tell me.
All right. Now, once again, you're a skeptic. You're thinking that this is a hoax, which is fine. It's going to start about...
No, I'm not making those kind of prejudgments. I'm really not. I'll listen to you. It's going to start when?
It's going to start... Well, it's already started. I did not read your book, The Quickening, but I can grasp what it was probably about just by the inferences that you make to it. And you are right. Nature is going to play a part up to a point. But nature doesn't have to do anything. We're going to do it all to ourselves. We've already started. If you notice, we are animals. We have this mighty high opinion of ourselves, but we're nothing more than animals. And we are the same animal that evolved to take a very slow life that we used to live up until a couple hundred years ago. We are now way too fast for ourselves. We talk before we think, and technology is bombarding us with no time to react, contemplate, and ponder our next action.
Okay, well, I don't need to hear what the current trends are. I know what they are.
All right, Art. I am sorry. The year 2006 is when it will start. And it will start by the United States, which is the reason that I have decided that the world must reshuffle the deck. The world is not going to come to an end. We're just going to shuffle the deck. the United States economy will implode upon itself.
2006.
2006. I would start buying gold right now if anyone wants to believe me. In the year 2006, world monetary speculators, just as they've done to Russia, just as they've done to Indonesia, just as they will do to Japan in about 6 or 7 months, are going to make a run on our currency. It'll be our turn. Do you know that we have what we profess to be a $5 trillion debt, which is actually more like $18 trillion if you add in Medicaid and Social Security?
You're not sounding very Antichrist-like.
What the Antichrist is somebody that has the power to stop this.
Is that you?
Yes.
And by what,
I am a world.
And by
I have
what
the
means?
Potential to be a world leader.
And by what? Well, sure. By what means will you stop it?
If I were to get into politics and become the president of the United States in the year 2000, but I have chosen not to because I have deemed this world not worthy of saving at this time.
In other words, under no conditions will you accept that job?
Yes.
Well, all right, then you
would ask,
cannot, then if asked, you would refuse.
I apologize, I did not hear your last thing.
If asked, you would refuse. You would not run.
No, I would run.
You would run.
If asked, but they will not ask. If Jesus came back, they would not believe him today. People today are so skeptical. They're so self-centered.
Of course they are. I mean, but say something to...
People think Bill Gates and Bill Clinton are the Antichrist right now. That's how silly they are.
Bill and Bill?
The first man who had a wreck of his car with a 666 on his forehead thinks he's the Antichrist.
Well, what about the guy last hour who had the 666 on his bone?
If he were the real Antichrist, he would have had it. He would have been born with it.
And were you?
No, because the whole idea of a 666 is a silly anecdotal phrase. It comes from some part of the Bible. It has no validity in truth.
Well, now you're sounding more like him now.
I'm a nice guy.
Yeah,
I have great love for the world. In fact, I have more respect for animals than I do most human beings.
Yeah, you come at it a little like Christopher Walken. You're now a little more believable. You're a nice guy, huh?
I'm a nice guy. I see the future. And at this time, you know what the cardinal sin is?
What?
Of this world, and I don't mean to sound cliched, but God is very upset about abortion. Not just because we have chosen to abort little babies.
Yeah, but you must be all in favor of abortion.
See, you once again have the wrong idea of the Antichrist.
Really? The Antichrist is out there actually doing God's work, huh?
The first Christ was public. I am private. The first Christ had a positive outlook on the way the world could turn out. The Antichrist has seen the last 2,000 years and knows that it was not possible to save the world. Do you understand what I just said? The original Christ was public. I am private.
You are private.
The original Christ tried to redeem the world.
And what is your role?
I must cleanse the world.
You must cleanse it. All right, so what is your role going to be in bringing all of this on? You will bring it on.
I have already brought it on. The wheels are in motion. They cannot be stopped unless we take action right now, and we are too silly and too stupid to take action right now.
All right. Well, I appreciate your call, but it seems to me the Antichrist would be more sure of himself. Not somebody saying, change your ways, get godly or else.